Hey my dear warriors, welcome to the JEE English channel, and I can see all the crowd gathered over here because you know this is the only place which is doing amazing stuff for your CBSE board exam, and that too in English. So today's session is all about the most repeated questions from your CBSE board previous year question papers. All the important topics, all the high weightage, the repeated ones, that's the one which has been collected for all of you, and me, Shreyas, your physics master teacher, is going to discuss these questions with you. And also, do not forget that there is a surprise at the end. So make sure you have smashed the like button and you stay subscribed on the channel so that you do not miss any of the classes being conducted by me, your physics master teacher. And thank you for asking me so many doubts and how to prepare. Many of you are asking me doubts on my Instagram handle. Thank you so much to connect with you, and I felt so good connecting with so many students on the Instagram, and they were asking lots and lots of doubts, not just academic guys, it's mainly non-academic, on how to study, how to prepare, etc, etc. So good. Really proud of all of you guys. So let's begin. Good morning, Abdul, Sweet, Aishwarya, nice to see you guys. Hello, Mithun, Purnima. Everybody is ready, excited in the morning. Hello, Cubing. Hello, Sanjit. Hello, Ronnie. Hello, Supra. Wow, what a name. Hello, Abhay. Hello, Vasant. Hello, Ron. Nice to see you guys. Hello, Lakshita. Hello, Rahul. Hello, Gautam. Nice to see all of you. Vanakkam, welcome. Bonjour. Hola. Yes. Hello. Let's begin. So here comes the first question up on your screen. A ray of light on passing through an equilateral glass prism suffers a minimum deviation equal to the angle of the prism. The value of the refractive index is what? So guys, today's question is all going to be subjective. There are also going to be numericals or problems which has good amount of weightage. Okay, but only doing problems won't be enough. So we are going to do theory plus concept plus give reason plus short notes plus all those kind of things, and obviously a surprise awaits you towards the end. So here is the question. First of all, whenever you get such kind of a question, always draw a diagram if you are solving the problem, if you have to write the solution. Okay, it passes through the glass prism with a minimum deviation equal to the angle of the prism. Now imagine if it suffers minimum deviation, the ray inside will be parallel to the base, and this is an equilateral prism. Is it an equilateral prism? Yes. So that means this angle is 60 degrees. The angle of the prism is 60 degrees. So you're going to write angle of prism 60 degrees. The minimum deviation is also given to be the angle of the prism. That means that is also 60 degrees. Now the question says find the refractive index of the material. So refractive index, what is the formula, guys? What is the formula? Many of you have started posting the answer. Excellent, guys. Sine of angle of the prism plus delta m divided by 2, the whole thing divided by sine of a by 2. So you're going to mention the formula, don't directly substitute it, and then you're going to write basically it is sine of 60 degrees plus 60 degrees by 2 divided by sine of 60 by 2. So that mu will become basically 60 plus 60, 120. 120 by 2 is 60. So basically sine 60 divided by sine 60 by 2 is 30. Now sine 60 is root 3 by 2. Sine 30 is half. Hence the answer will be basically root 3. Do not forget to block it. So if you write like this, you will get full marks. Understood? I'm just showing you a sample of how to write. Show a diagram. I know diagram is not so necessary, but show a diagram that shows that okay, you are very serious, okay, you're a very studious aspirant who is writing the board exam. Okay, even if it is not required, just show a rough diagram. It shows that okay, you have thought about something. So these are the steps, and this is how you're going to block the answer. Now every time I'm not going to do the full thing, guys. This is just to show you how to write the answers. Okay, I have pasted the solutions or the model solutions also on the next page. Now here is the next question. I don't think it is a numerical, but it is more like a give reason, or maybe it can come for 1 mark or max to max 2 marks. Okay, not more than that. The variation of the stopping potential with the frequency of light is given for two surfaces M1 and M2 as shown. Which surface has more value of work function? which has more value of work function. No problem, Abhay. I'm always great. I'm good. You are the best, guys. You are the best students, obviously. Root 3. Yes, very good, Sanjit. Very good. So many of you are saying M2 is more than M1. So this is simple, give reason kind of question. In this graph, can you not see that this point is actually the threshold frequency of 1? This is the threshold frequency of 1. This is actually the threshold frequency of 2. This is the threshold frequency of 2. Everybody with me on this? So now, can you not see that basically the threshold frequency for M1 is less than threshold frequency for M2. So guys, what can you say now? The threshold frequency for M1 is less. So what will happen now? Which will have more work function? Obviously M2 has more work function than M1 because the frequency and threshold threshold frequency and the work function are directly related to each other by the equation phi is equal to hf naught. Phi is equal to hf naught. Hence, therefore, the work function of 2 will be more than work function of 1. Everyone with me? Everyone with me? Exactly. Awesome. Awesome. So that is the correct answer. Awesomeness. If the question was asked on kinetic energy, which has more kinetic energy, then what will you reply? Then you will be like, acha, the one which has less threshold will have more kinetic energy coming out. Because remember, energy of the photon is work function plus kinetic energy. The one which has more work function will have less kinetic energy. The one which has less work function will have more kinetic energy. So if that was asked. So this is how you are going to write your answers. You will get full 1 marks. Okay, you will get full 1 marks. Moving on to the next one coming up on your screen. Here it is. Good morning, Superman. Yes. Clearo, amazing, and I can see many students answering it correct. Very good, guys. Proud of you. It looks like you have been revising things very properly and you guys have done all your weak concepts, weak topics in the last 2 days. Perfect, perfect. Write 2 main observations of photoelectric experiment which could be only explained by Einstein, number 1. Second part, draw a graph showing the variation of the photocurrent with the anode potential of photocell. This can come for anywhere between 2 to 4 marks. Depending on that, you will change the length or maybe the way in which you are going to describe the question. See, first thing is that the observations of the photoelectric experiment which was only explained by Einstein. So for part A, guys, the first thing that you should say is, you can say that it is an instantaneous process. When an electron strikes the metal surface, okay, the electron is ejected instantly. But if it was wave theory, then a wave continuously gives energy, and the photoelectrons will be emitted. Once enough energy is accumulated, then it will come out. Once enough energy is accumulated, then it will come out. But it is not like that. It is not a continuous flow of energy where the energy gets accumulated and then the electron gets ejected out. No. The moment a photon strikes, an electron is ejected out. So the first important word should be basically instantaneous. Instantaneous process. It is an instantaneous process. The moment a photon, you can even draw a diagram like this to explain the same thing, and you can show that this is a metallic surface, and then you can show that an electron is ejected out. So you can show this diagram. So it will give a lot of validity and credibility to your answer. Then the second point that you are going to mention, there are a lot of questions. Independent of intensity. So what does it mean? Photoelectric current. So photoelectric emission basically depends only on what? The frequency of the incident radiation, not on the intensity. So this effect happens only if the frequency is more than the threshold and is independent of intensity. So no matter what you try to do, if the frequency is less than the threshold, then no matter what you try to do, photoelectric effect will not occur. Only if the frequency is higher. Even if the light's intensity is very less, then also effect will happen. So that was explained by Einstein. That was the part A. Now for part B, guys, For part B, draw the graph showing variation of current with the potential. The graph that you are going to show will be like this. The graph that you are going to show will be like this. This is anode potential, this is current, this is zero. And what are you going to show, guys? You're just going to show it like this. You are going to say this is basically your saturation. This is basically your saturation. This is going to be your stopping potential. Isn't that right? This is your stopping potential. And if you want, you can also show the graph like this. This means the intensities are different. I1, I2, I3. I3 being the highest. I3 more than I2 more than I1. So you can show the graph like this. Is that right? Loving the class, Vasant? Very good. Yes, there is no photoelectric effect if it is less than threshold. Yes. So these are the points. If you mention, 100% you will get marks, guys. Full marks you will get. Teacher will also be very happy. Oh, he showed the diagram also. Oh, he explained what is it. So that's how it is. Now, a lot of people think if 2 points are asked, let me write 3 points. Don't do that. That shows that you are unsure. When you give more options to the examiner, it shows that you are not so sure about your 2 points. That's why you are giving 3 points. So don't give more than what is asked. If they ask you only give 1 point, give 1 point. Okay? That doesn't matter which point you give, but you give 1 point. If you give 3 points, then the examiner, why is he giving 3 points? Why is he giving 4 points? Is he not sure of the first 2 points? So don't do that. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Coming up on your screen. Get ready. Let's go on. So what is this? A resistor capacitor connected in series. Voltage is given. What is the max value of the voltage across the resistance and the capacitor? Phase difference between the current and the voltage, and who is ahead of whom. Is a very good numerical, can come for easily 3 to 4 marks, right? Hello Kirti Kumar, nice to see all of you. Very good, Carnival, if you are getting all the questions correct, but you have to also write it down properly. That's why writing is very important. When you practice, okay, just make sure that you are writing. You are not just reading through things or just writing, only the main things. That is not good. You have to write everything. Okay, so in this question, voltage is given. So I find that we should actually look at maybe the current first, and only then I can find the voltage, everything. So guys, look at this. There is a resistor and there is a capacitor, and it is connected across a AC voltage, which is basically V0 sine omega t. Obviously, there will be some current which will be going in series like this. Okay, so that current can be easily found out to be the voltage divided by the impedance. Voltage is V0, this is maximum voltage. So V0 by basically impedance. Impedance is nothing but the root of resistance square plus your XC square. Is that right? R square plus XC square. The entire thing under the root will give you the impedance. This will be the max current, guys. This will be the max current that will be flowing in the circuit. Once you know the maximum current, you can also find the voltage across the resistor and capacitor individually. So for part A, the maximum voltage across the resistor will be nothing but the maximum current into resistance. This is Ohm's law. That's it. So this will be nothing but use that value. So V0 divided by root of R square plus X square into R. That is the maximum voltage across the resistance. The maximum voltage across capacitance will be maximum current into basically XC, equivalent resistance of the capacitor. So that's it, just substitute. So V0 divided by root R square plus XC square into XC. So that completes your option A. Your question A is done. Very good. Excellent A. Next point that you are going to mention, the phase difference between them. So for that, for the second part, here is what you are going to do. We know that in the phasor diagram, the resistance comes in the horizontal direction, in the direction of the current. The capacitive reactance comes this way. This is where XC comes. So you will see that the net impedance, net voltage, everything will come in this direction. This is the direction of net impedance as well as the net voltage. So what I'm looking for is basically this, the phase angle. This is basically the phase angle between the current and the voltage. Resistance always in the direction of the current. You will see capacitive reactance or voltage across the capacitance always is down. Inductor is always up. Love is above all. capacitor is below, resistance is horizontal. Just remember this diagram. If you draw this diagram, everything will be clear. So now think about it. In this triangle, tan of phi, what will it be? Opposite side by adjacent side. Opposite side by adjacent side. What is opposite? XC. Adjacent is basically R. So that is your phase difference. So this was asked. So basically phi will be tan inverse of XC divided by R. So you're going to block this as well. Okay, you have to block this as well. Okay, these were also the answers. Even this was the answer. You are going to block all of these. And the last thing that you are going to leave, who is ahead of whom? If you miss this, you will lose again half a mark or 1 mark. Who is ahead of whom? Current is ahead of voltage. You can see current goes ahead of voltage. So I is ahead of the voltage. So that's very, very important. Current is ahead of the voltage. Excellent. Understood? Everyone, how to write the answers? So I hope these model solutions are helping you understand what you are expected to do, and I hope you are realizing what steps you might be missing in the mock tests or in the pre-boards or in the prelims. Okay? So going ahead to another question coming up on your screen. Predict the polarity of the capacitor in the situation shown below. So you can see this is a question actually on Lenz's law from the chapter of electromagnetic induction. Sir, can I write pi by 2? No, pi by 2 is wrong, Kirti Kumar, because the voltage is not ahead, or sorry, current is not ahead of voltage by 90 degrees. It is less than 90. So it is less than 90. They are not asking current in a capacitor is ahead by the voltage by how much? No, through the entire circuit they are asking. So you need to check the total voltage with the total current. Okay, now in this question, if you notice, if you use Lenz's law, you have to mention the word Lenz's law. That is very important. And you have to say that it opposes the change in flux, opposes the change in flux, and because of which what happens, it repels the magnet by the induced current and the voltage, right? So you will see that if this is coming close, it will be repelled by creating a north pole here and a south pole here. Now you use your right hand thumb rule. If you use your right hand thumb rule, point the thumb in the north direction, your fingers will curl like this. Point your thumb, this is your thumb, and your fingers of the right hand will curl like that. So that means the current is going to go like this, guys. So if the current goes like this, obviously the positive charge will be here, negative charge will be here. So hence A will be positive, B will be negative. These are the polarities. So you're going to block this and keep. That's it. That's the answer. Very nice. No, it is not anti-clockwise, it is clockwise, bacha. If you look at it from here, it is going to be clockwise direction. Exactly. Bharat, my live class is not enough for getting just 50 marks. It will give you full 70 marks. Okay, if you follow everything what I have been telling, Bharat Krishna, my strategy session, my formula session, this session, the assertion reason case study session, and tomorrow's sure shot session, along with the homework that I have given, along with the things that I have asked you to do at home, if you follow it, and the instructions that I give on Telegram, if you follow it, trust me, nobody can stop you from getting full marks, bacha. If two magnets are given, then you check the effect of each one of them. Logan, if from this side also there is a magnet, then see because of that what will happen, and then take the combined effect. Maybe that magnet will cancel out this magnet's effect, then 0. If that magnet helps this magnet, then the same current will get added up with another current. So the polarity will be still positive, just that it will be more positive. That's all. So check effects from both of them. Exactly. Moving on to the next one. In the diagram shown, an ammeter and voltmeter are given. The EMF is given, resistance is given, internal resistance is given. What is the reading shown by the voltmeter and the ammeter? That is the question. Rather, like this is clockwise, this is anti-clock, no? So check how it went. This is clockwise, no? So this is clockwise, right? So that's what I have written. Okay, cool. So moving on. I hope my image is not inverted. Okay, I don't know how the image is seen for all of you. For me, this is right hand, this is left hand. If you are watching the screen, I hope that is what it is. Okay, so in this question, if you notice, this battery will supply some current. That current will go like this, like this, like this. Same current will go through the ammeter also, and it will come over here. So if I'm asked that current, so that current will be basically the total voltage divided by the total resistance. Total voltage in the circuit is 12. Total resistance is basically 4 plus 2, which is 6. So basically it is 2 amperes. So the current is basically 2 amperes. Let's see how many of you have written down 2 amperes. How many of you have written down 2 amperes? Very good, Mithun. So many of you wrote it. Awesome. And what about the voltage across the battery's terminals? The voltmeter reading will be E minus IR. These are the terminals of the battery. Internal resistance is there inside. So minus IR is important. So 12 minus I is known. Resistance is 2. So basically 12 minus 4, which is basically 8 volts. That's how you're going to mention the answer. Exactly. Very good, Bachalo. Very good. Proud of all of you. Awesomeness. So done. Let's move on to the next question. You will get full marks. Do not forget to block every time. Remember, block the answers. Block or underline whatever is your final conclusion. This is more than this, hence proved. Underline. Never leave it without underlining or blocking. Moving on to the next one coming up on your screen. The diagram shows waveforms A and B for AND gate. Draw the output waveform and the truth table for the logic gate. Can easily come for 2 marks. Max to max 3 marks, not more than that. So if you see, this is input, this is also input, and this is AND gate. And we know for an AND gate, first of all, if you draw the truth table, you mention this word, truth table for AND gate. Truth table for AND gate. A input, B input, output is basically A and B. Okay, so you can also call it as A dot B. That's how the symbol is mathematically. So I'll just make a table over here like this. Everybody knows how the table is going to look like. Just showing you how you're going to do it in the exam. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 0, 0, 0 and 1, 0, 1 and 0, 0, 1 and 1, 1. Now over here, this is low, 0 and 0, 0. So nothing will come over here. Here also, this is true, this is false, so it is false. Both are true, hence it is true, so it will go up. This is false, this is true, so it will be false. False, false, false. True, false, false. False, true, still false. So this is how the graph will look like. It will be low most of the time, only in this part it becomes high. That's it, that's the final diagram. Oh, logic gates deleted, my bad. I think by mistake I put up the slide. I'm so sorry, but it was a PYQ. I'm sorry. It's okay. I just did it now. This is for your JEE guys. JEE question. My bad. By mistake. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Thank you for pointing it out. Oh my God, you guys get so scared. So deleted portions are what? Oh my God, don't do this. What is this? I didn't study. Oh my God. Yeah, chill. It's not there. A ray of light passing from air through an equilateral glass prism undergoes minimum deviation when the angle of incidence is 3/4 of the angle of the prism. Calculate the speed of the light inside the prism. Okay, Revant, bacha, wait, no. If I do CBSE, you will be like, sir, VIEEE. Sir, if I do VIEEE, you will be like, sir, why not EMSAT? If I do EMSAT, you will be like, sir, why not that? I'll do everything, man, when the time comes. Don't worry, I will do everything. I know whatever you need. Okay? Yes. So here, what you need to do, the angle of the prism is 60 degrees. The angle of incidence is 3/4 of A. So this will be 3/4 of A, which is basically 60 degrees. So this is going to be 60/4, 15, 15 3 is 45. So angle of incidence is 45 degrees. Okay. Now let me draw the prism. Once more. This is 60 degrees. Great. Now the ray is undergoing minimum deviation. If the ray is undergoing minimum deviation, that means this side is parallel to the base. Great. So if I draw perpendiculars like this, think what will happen. This is also 60 degrees. This is also 60 degrees. Because this is perpendicular, obviously this angle will be 30 degrees and this entire angle, I just figured it out to be 45 degrees. Isn't that right? Now I know what to do next. I know that refractive index is basically sine of I divided by sine of R. So using that, it will be sine of 45 divided by sine of R, which is basically sine of 30. So sine 45 is 1 by root 2. This is basically 1 by 2. So it will become 2 by root 2, which is basically root 2. Which is basically root 2. Is that right? So now once I get the refractive index, finding the speed will be very easy. Because the question is find the speed. We know speed of light in vacuum upon speed of light in medium is basically the refractive index. So speed of light in that medium or the prism will be speed of light in vacuum divided by mu, which is 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by root 2. You can do the math and calculate how much is the exact value. But that many meters per second, do not forget the unit. Do not forget the unit. Okay, so that's it. So just check if the answer comes out to be 2.1 into 10 to the power 8. Yes, very good. Many of you have written it down as 2.1 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Perfect, 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 guys. Awesome. Moving on to the next question. So here it is. What does it say? Let's see. Alpha particle and a proton, same kinetic energy, are in turn allowed to pass through a field in the normal direction of the motion of the particles. Okay, great. Calculate the ratio of the radii of the circular paths described by both of them. Interesting. Now both these particles have same kinetic energy. Be careful. Same magnetic field. So when you take a charged particle and you throw it inside a magnetic field, it goes in a circular path, uniform circular motion, and it also has certain radius. Okay. So the ratio of the radii is asked. We all know radius is basically m times v divided by qb, okay, which I can also write it as, what can I write it as? Think about it, as half m v square. Okay, deliberately I wrote half mv square because I know kinetic energy is there. Now try to compare this with this. What I'm going to do, observe, I have m, I have v, but this one extra v was there, so I will divide by v. This q and b were also there. This q and b were also there. This 2 was not there, so I multiply by 2 to preserve the equality. Does this and this expression match each other? Aren't they exactly the same? 2 cancels, v cancels, you will get back this. This term over here is kinetic energy. This is basically your 2, okay, divided by, you have O, but you will get velocity. I don't know the velocity. Acha, so maybe doing this will not help. But instead, what if I write mass into velocity as momentum and then do it? Because I know momentum and kinetic energy are related. How are they related? Try to remember. Kinetic energy is p square by 2m. Therefore, p square is basically 2mk. Therefore, p is equal to root of 2mk. Acha, use that over here. So, root of 2 times mk will come over here, and this is as it is qb. That will give you the radius. Now, once I see that radius is this formula where everything is known, kinetic energy is same, b is same, 2 is constant, mass and charge are different, r is proportional to root m and inversely proportional to q. Therefore, my final closing statement will be something like this. R of alpha upon r of proton, it's proportional to root of mass. So mass of alpha upon mass of proton, inversely proportional to the charge. So basically, I will just say charge of proton and here charge of alpha. So what am I going to get, guys? Mass of alpha and mass of proton, if you compare, the ratio is 4:1. So this will be 4:1. Charge of proton and charge of alpha, what is it going to be? Proton has 1e charge, alpha particle has 2 times the charge. Root of 4 and and basically 2, they are just going to cancel out each other, so it is just going to be 1:1. So r alpha by r proton is just going to be big fat 1:1, guys. That is your answer. Just check it out. Yes, that is the answer, 1:1. Understood, guys? So kinetic energy was same. That's why I tried to modify the formula in the form of kinetic energy. So momentum, I wrote it in kinetic energy. Then I saw it is proportional to this. Rest is simple. Moving on to the next one. Neutron, electron, alpha particle. Neutron, electron and alpha particle moving with same speeds enter a magnetic field going in the plane of the paper. Their path, how will it be? And justify your answer. You have to show the path in the exam. Yes, this kind of question can also come in JEE obviously. So remember, the force acting is always given by QV cross B. If you take alpha particle, for example, and then you take neutral and then you take electron, the charge on the alpha particle is positive, neutral particle has zero charge, electron has basically negative charge. The velocity for everyone is towards this side. The magnetic field is inside for everyone. Now, what happens when you do V cross B? Velocity is there, magnetic field is inside, V cross B vector is going to come up. Velocity cross B vector is going to come up. Now, if it is alpha, you are multiplying V cross B vector with a positive value. So it will be in that direction only. Hence, the force will also be in the same direction. Whereas for a neutral particle, there is no charge. So 0 into anything is 0. So there will be no force on the neutral particle. For the electron, the charge is negative. So negative into V cross B will be downwards. So the force should be acting downwards. Now this gives me complete picture what is going to happen. Neutral particle will just go in a straight line, right? Whereas alpha particle and electron, what will happen? Alpha particle will go this way, electron will go this way. That's what is going to happen. So these are the paths which are going to be traced. Yes, electron and alpha will go opposite and neutral will go in a straight line. Excellent. No, it's not going to be helical, it is going to be a uniform circular motion. It will be an arc. These are basically arcs. Arc of a circle, guys. Circular motion. Okay, very, very important. But whose radius will be more? Alpha or electron? Whose radius will be more? You should concentrate on both because sample paper is only one, PYQs are many. Sample paper will give you a good idea of what is going to come ahead. PYQs gives you most repeated. Yeah, so electron will turn fast because this is lighter. So this will basically have a small radius. It's easy to turn it, right? Same force, but you have to turn it. So smaller mass will be easier to turn. This will be heavier, so difficult to turn. So basically this is heavier. So that's why the radius will also be large. Is that understood? Yeah. Yeah, you can use the right hand rule, obviously. Excellent. Moving on to the next question. Okay, come on. Yes, so using Kirchhoff's law, find the value of the currents through 40 ohm and 20 ohm resistors in the circuit. Now these kind of questions can come. I'll just show you the main equations, rest of the things you solve. Say first, when you get these kind of questions, show the currents, draw this diagram obviously in your answer sheet and assume some currents. Let's say you assume that the current from here comes out to be I1. It goes like this as I1 and maybe it comes over here as I1. This battery gives, let's say, a current of maybe I2. It goes like this, I2. So if I2 is going in, I1 is coming out. So guys, think about it. Basically, what should be happening over here? This should be basically I1 minus I2 current because this current plus this current should be this current. Input current should be output current, Kirchhoff's current law. So this I have got it using KCL. And the same current will obviously go over here, I1 minus I2, the same current will be here also, I2, and the same current will be here also, I2. Just check this out. See if this diagram makes sense. I1 is input, output is I1 minus I2 and I2. If you add both of these, I2 cancels, what I'm left with is I1 only. It's perfectly fine. Now once KCL job is done, so using Kirchhoff's current law, I marked the currents. So mark the currents. The next thing that you need to do is Kirchhoff's voltage law. So let's choose the loops. Let's take A, B, C, D, A. Always mention the loops. A, B, C, D, A. Never ever skip this part. always mention it in your answer sheet, which loop you are considering, because they have asked you to solve via KVL. Okay, so here if you go from here to this point, you are going from lower to higher potential, so it is basically plus 80. Here I am dropping the voltage because I am going in the direction of current, so minus I1 into resistance, which is 20. Then nothing is over here. Here I am going in the direction of the current, so obviously drop, so minus I1 minus I2 into 40 is equal to 0. That is the first equation. Then the second equation, you can write it probably for this guy. You can probably write it for this guy or like this. So go from here and come back over here. So E, D, C, F, E. So this is the second loop. For this loop, E to D nothing. From here to here, I'm going against the direction of current, so it will be an increase. So it will be plus I1 minus I2 into 40. Then here there is nothing. Here I'm going in the direction of current, so dropping the voltage. So minus I2 into 10. Then here low to high, so plus 40 is equal to 0. That's all. Yep. So now all you have to do is solve two equations for two unknowns. Which are the unknowns? I1 and I2. Solving that, you will get I1 and also the value of I2. That's it. Is that understood? So just see if you get the final answers. I1 has 4 amperes, I2 also has 4 amperes. That's what I'm getting. Okay, from here 4 and 4. So from here it is coming out to be 4 amperes and this is 4 amperes, but that is not the question which is asked. That is not the question which is asked. The question is 40 ohms and 20 ohms. That is the question. Be careful. If you mark this answer, gone. So current through 20 ohms is basically 4 amperes. 4 amperes. Whereas current through 40 ohm resistance is 4 minus 4, which comes out to be 4 minus 4, which comes out to be 0 amperes. So this is one answer and this is another answer. You're going to block these two. You're going to block these two. Be careful. Yep. So Beast, I will probably give the important derivations on Telegram for what you need to prepare. Okay. Okay. Right. Moving on. State Gauss's law for magnetism. Explain its significance. Write important properties of magnetic field lines due to a bar magnet. Come on. What is Gauss's law of magnetism? The first part, everybody should know it. The net flux of the magnetic field for any closed surface is basically 0. Then what you're going to do is to draw a diagram like this. Draw a diagram like this showing magnetic field lines. Show a diagram like this. Okay, this is very important. If you don't draw diagrams, you might lose marks. So always show a diagram like this. And the significance of the magnetic field, Gauss's laws, for magnetism is that, monopoles do not exist. Monopoles don't exist. That is one important thing. So magnetism always comes in north-south pole, basically always as dipoles. That is what it means. That leads us to our second part, which is basically the important properties. One of the most important property is that it is always in the form of closed loops. Always in the form of closed loops, right? Second important point, what can you write, guys? What can you write? Important pointers. The tangent drawn gives you the direction of the field, direction of the magnetic field. Another important point that you can write is they don't intersect. They don't intersect anywhere. Another important point that you can write. What can you write, guys? You can say where the field lines concentrate, that's where the field is stronger. So dense field corresponds to strong magnetic field. So the concentration of the field lines matters. So you can write all of these. You can also put up another point, but I'm not asking you to write 5 points. You can choose any one of them. You can always say that the field lines, B field appears to come out from north and basically from south also. You can say it goes in. So you can mention that. It appears to come out. Actually, it doesn't come out. It does not start. It continues even inside the magnet. So that's why you can say the word appears to come out from the north side and goes inside the south side. Is that okay? Everyone? Okay, great. Shadow, why did you make me a dinosaur egg man? Oh my god. Capto fans are already here. Thank you so much. Rohit, nobody is Ronaldo fans, man. Like, we are all Ronaldo fans, but you know, right now they are all Capto fans because they know that only Captain Shreyas sir can save them, not Ronaldo. Ronaldo will give them wow feeling, but right now Shreyas sir only can save them from boards and JEE and their counseling and their colleges and their marks. So their future will be secured only because of these sessions right now. They know that. Okay, moving on to the next one, guys. 3 photodiodes made of semiconductor band gap blah blah blah, which will not be able to detect light. Standard kind of question. In this kind of questions, what are you going to do? In these kind of questions, what are you going to do? Think about it. First of all, light is given, wavelength is given. So find the energy of the light. Energy of the light photon. The light's photon. How much will it be? It is actually hc by lambda, but you can also write it as 1240 and divided by lambda if it is in nanometers, and the answer will be in electron volt. So it is 1240 divided by 600. Just say how many electron volt does it come out to be? 124 divided by 6, guys. 60, sorry. How much does it come out to be? 2 point something? 2 point something? 2 point something? Yep. 2 point something? 2.06 or something? Yep. Now, isn't this 2.06? Isn't this 2.06 more than 2 electron volt and also more than that's it. That's it. It's more than 2 electron volt. Nothing else. So which of them will not be able to detect light? 2.5 and 3, both D1 and D3. So only D2 will detect, whereas D1 and D3 will not detect light, because the energy of the light has to be more than the band gap. Only then the electron will jump. Okay, that's it. That's how you can solve it. Moving on to another question. When an inductor is connected to 200 volt DC, a current of 1 ampere goes through it. When the same inductor is connected to AC, 0.5 amperes of current flows through it. Why? And calculate the self-inductance. Come on. Yes. Guys, photodiode is a normal, it's a standard question, guys. You cannot say that it is deleted because this is completely based on, the concept of energy of a photon. Photon is there in the syllabus, number 1. Number 2, band gap is there in the syllabus, semiconductors, that's it. So it can come in the CBSE paper, guys. So don't say that, sir, it is deleted. I thought photodiode, xenodiode is not there, is there. So don't worry about that. It's just a simple question on energy of a photon, that's it. And whether the band gap energy is less or more than the energy of the photon, that's all. So don't worry about all those things. Okay, how to solve this question? First part, in case of DC, because there is some current flowing even in DC, that means the inductor has some resistance. That is the inference. So there is an inductor, and when you put in DC voltage, how much? 200 volt DC, then the current flowing is 1 ampere. We know in DC the inductor just behaves like a wire. It is just like a wire, inductor. So it's as good as saying there is only resistor and the current will be voltage by resistance, or the resistance, I can just write it, R is equal to V by I. Voltage is 200, current is 1. So resistance is basically 200 ohms. That is one thing which I concluded. Now for the second part, when you have how much? 200 volt, 50 hertz AC current, then the inductor and the resistor will behave slightly differently as per the LCR circuit norms. So this is your inductor. Now the current flowing through that circuit is basically 0.5 amperes. For this part, what you're going to do is, because you know the current, you know the resistance, and you don't know the inductance, what I'm going to do is write this equation. Current is the total voltage by the impedance. Impedance is nothing but root of R square plus XL square. Correct? Now just move this around. Just move this around and see what happens. So this will become root of R square plus XL square is equal to voltage by current. Square both sides. So R square plus XL. XL is nothing but omega L. XL is nothing but omega L whole square is voltage by current whole square. Now resistance, I know it is 200. So put 200 over here. Omega, where is it? 50 hertz. 50 hertz means 2 pi into 50 into L whole square. Voltage is 200 and current is basically 0.5. Current is basically 0.5 whole square. Now do the math, guys. Now it's just a matter of doing the math. Is that understood, guys? Everyone with me? What we have to do? Is that clear? Is that clear? Excellent. Now just do the math. So this will be 2 square, which is 4, which is basically 4 into 10 to the power 4, plus this will be 4 pi square, and so 2 into 50 is basically 100, so I can just write it as pi square into 100 square, which is 10 to the power 4 into L square, which is equal to 200 by 0.5 is 400. 400 square is 16 into 10 to the power 4. 10 to the power 4, 10 to the power 4 cancels everywhere. And from that you should get the value of L square also. So basically pi square L will be basically 12. So L will be root of 12 divided by pi. Just check this out. Root 12 divided by pi. Is that the answer? Yes, it is. Root 12 divided by pi. Henry. That's it. That's what you're going to block the answer as. Very good. So this question is very important. This explains everything. This can easily come for 4 marks minimum, 5 also possible. Okay, so 4 to 5 marks, guys, expect this kind of question. Did you understand this numerical? Did you understand how to solve it? Can you find the reactance first? No, bacha. How do you find the reactance? You will have to, okay. From this you can find XL, and from that you can find L. Yes, you can do that. So just find XL, and then from that substituting XL as omega L, finding L. Okay, perfectly fine. The only thing I did was I substituted everything so that everything maybe cancels out later on. I don't know. It just happened. Is that okay? Perfect. Awesome. Great. Everybody with me on this? Omega is angular frequency. Some of you are like, sir, why did you multiply by 2 pi? Guys, understand this is frequency. This is 2 pi. 2 pi into f is actually omega. So this is the concept used over here. So that's why you need to multiply it by 2 pi. Moving on to the next question. Coming up on your screen. Okay. A parallel plate capacitor is charged by a battery to a potential difference V. It is disconnected from the battery and then connected to an uncharged capacitor of the same capacitance. Find the ratio of the energy stored in the combination in the initial as compared to the initial energy in the single capacitor. I feel that this question can easily again come for minimum 4 marks. I feel 5 marks also possible. Yep. So you're going to get the PDF later on, bacha. Concentrate on the class now. Concentrate. Okay. So first of all, there was only one single capacitor charged by a battery. All right. So let me just show one capacitor and one battery. All right. So what will the initial energy be? It will be just half CV square. It will be just half CV square. Is that right? Everyone with me? Okay. Now this is charged by a battery. It is now disconnected from the battery. Interesting. If it is disconnected from the battery, it will still have some charge. The value of the charge will be basically C into V. That's it. That charge stays. This charge is still going to stay. Now this capacitance, which has CV charge on it, is now connected to an identical capacitor. It is now connected to an identical capacitor. What will happen? The charges will get distributed equally because equal capacitance. So finally, what I can say is that both the capacitors both the capacitors will have CV by 2 charge, correct? CV by 2 charge. Everybody understands this? Equal distribution because equal capacitance. Equal distribution because equal capacitance. Everybody gets this? Perfect. Now, what are you going to say? What is the final energy stored? It is half charge square by C, but there are two capacitors. Half Q square, the new Q square by C. This is the new one. But there are two capacitors, so into 2. So that is the final total energy of the system. So what is this going to be? This half and this 2 is just going to cancel, so just forget it. So I'm just going to get Q new square divided by C. The new capacitance, the new charge is CV by 2 whole square divided by C. So this is going to be C square V square by C. 2 square is basically 4. So this is 1/4 of CV square. Now the final answer. What is the ratio of the energy in the combination as compared to the initial energy? So U final divided by U initial will be 1/4 CV square divided by 1/2 CV square. So this is 1/4 divided by 1/2, which is basically 4, and this 2. So this is 1:2. That is the answer. Yep. Why did you take parallel? Why did I take parallel? Because it is given that it is connected to an uncharged capacitor. How else can you connect? Just think about it. If I had to connect two capacitors, one charged, one uncharged, what else can you do? You will say, sir, can I not do like this? Now, is it not in series? Bacha, these are not in series, they are still in parallel, because if you just slide this around here, you will exactly get this same diagram. So, whatever voltage is here, same voltage is here, voltage drops are the same, so actually they are in parallel, bacha. Okay? Is that understood? Okay, the voltage drops will be same. So think about it, the voltage drops are the same, so the charges get distributed in accordance till the voltages are same. Okay, can you just pass by studying PYQs? Yes, most likely, yeah. If you're just talking about passing here, definitely. Okay, great. Everyone with me? Yep, can we go ahead? Everybody learning a lot from these questions, yes or no? Put it up by a fire emoji, guys. Going on to the next question coming up on your screen. Everybody learning a lot? Yep, very good. Menti is not so useful, bacha log, for you guys right now, especially in 11th and 12th. You should be moving over mentis and all. See, for 8th, 9th, 10th kids, they acquire a lot of adrenaline rush through mentis. Okay, sometimes fine, menti is okay, but you guys should be focusing more on other learning outcomes rather than menti quizzes. Trust me on that. Okay, chalo. Why didn't I use that formula? Optimum such formula is not supposedly to be used, when you're solving problems in CBSE. Okay, if you use that, maybe you will get few marks, but the teacher will be like, where did you get the formula from? How did you derive it? So that is okay for JEE. For CBSE, please solve it by steps. They should understand what you have done. Okay, so here comes the next question, guys. Two protons equal energy enter a uniform magnetic field. So I think this kind of question I already did some time back. Oh, but the question asked is slightly different. First proton enters normal, other proton enters 30 degrees. Name the trajectories followed by them. I want everyone to answer this, and I think somebody has already answered this question. Very good, Thiru. And Sanjay, oh my god, Sanjay Ella Varsan Karthikeyan. I hope I pronounce your name properly, bacha. Yes, that's the correct answer. The one which is perpendicular will be circular, and the one which is at an angle will be in the helical form. So one uniform circular motion, another one will be helical. So that's correct, perfect. Moving on to the next one. Define magnetic susceptibility. Write the relation in terms of relative magnetic permeability. And if two magnetic materials A and B have relative magnetic permeabilities, blah blah blah, what is A and B? Okay, come on, what is the answer for this? Magnetic susceptibility, option A first, question A. Magnetic susceptibility, what is it defined as? It is defined as capital M by H. It's how much it has got magnetized. All right, it's basically how much it has got magnetized to how much is the magnetizing field. So H is basically your magnetizing field, and this is basically the magnetization. And how is it related to magnetic permeability? 1 plus susceptibility is the relative magnetic permeability. So that is first part of the question. Very good. Excellent. Next, or you can also say X is mu minus 1. It's one and the same thing, guys. Two magnetic materials have permeabilities 0.96 and 500. What are the materials A and B? A should be which kind of material? Because it is less than 1. Obviously, it should be diamagnetic because 0.96 is less than 1. B, what is it? 500, guys. So 500 definitely means it is ferromagnetic material. It is ferromagnetic material because 500 is much larger than 1. But this is magnetic permeabilities, guys. Magnetic permeabilities. Yes, it is going to be a dia and ferro. Exactly. Yep. Should you do derivations daily? Abhay, it would be best if you are doing derivations daily. Trust me, you will get really good marks, but that will leave you a little bit less time for preparation of other things. So just don't do derivations more than 1 hour per day. If you're concentrating for 1 hour on derivations, that's more than enough. I would love you to concentrate on other MCQs, assertion, reason, case studies, give reasons, phenomena, experiments, graphs, formulas, numericals, other things, your PYQs, than derivations also. Okay. So don't waste more than 1 hour per day. 1.5 hour max to max. Okay. Dia means, oh Roche, that is susceptibility. Oh, now I understood why you guys made a mistake. You guys thought this was susceptibility. Read the question. This is magnetic permeabilities, relative magnetic permeabilities. This is mu r. This is not susceptibility. Susceptibility is negative for diamagnetic. Did you understand what mistake you made? Yeah, you can expect similar questions, bacha. See, this is how, I mean, whosoever designed this question in whichever year na was very evil. See how he changed the mind of the students. The first part, the examiner is asking about susceptibility. In second part, they are giving relative permeability. Many students in a hurry, in that exam tension, oh, it's susceptibility is negative, it is dia, susceptibility is positive, it is para. So they'll write para and ferro. Gone. Para, marks will go off. Para, marks will go off, okay? Guys, yeah, moving on to the next question. Monochromatic light of frequency is produced by a laser. The power is this much, energy of photon and number of photons. Okay, I'm just going to give you the formula. You can do the math, right? So let's see what is the correct answer for this. Light's frequency is given. The power is this much. What is the energy of the photon? So for the first part, energy of the photon will be HF. So it is 6.6 10 to the power minus 34 into the frequency, which is 6 into 10 to the power 14. That's it. So that many joules will be the energy. Now for the second part, what you're going to do is, how many number of photons are emitted by the source on an average? So if n number of photons are emitted, if energy of the photon is E photon, okay, then this will give me the total energy. This entire thing will give me the total energy. If I divide it with the time, if I divide it with basically time, then what will happen, what I will get is basically the power. What I will get is basically the power P of the source. So hence, N by T is nothing but power divided by energy of that photon. So the power is given to be 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. So whatever photons energy you got in joules, just substitute it over here. So whatever energy you got, just put it over here. So that's it. That is going to give me the final answer. That is going to give me the final answer. Is that okay? Just see how much you get. I think you should get it as, what have they given? Oh, they also didn't calculate it. Very good. Interesting. So number of photons comes out to be 5 into 10 to the power 15. That's what it comes out to be. 5 into 10 to the power 15, guys. Okay, numbers per second. Great. Yes, moving on to the next one. Moving on to the next one. Find the ratio of the frequency of radiation emitted due to transition of electron in hydrogen atom from second permitted level to the first level, highest permitted level to the second permitted level. Okay, so what does this mean? Let's analyze it via a proper energy level diagram. It will be better. This is n is equal to 1, this is n is equal to 2, this is n is equal to 3, and so on and so forth, like that till basically you will have till infinity. Okay, now for the first part of the question, second permitted level to the first level, that means from here to here, from here to here. So what is basically the ratio of the frequencies? Okay, so to find the ratio of the frequencies, here is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to find the energies first. So what will be the energy to go from 2 to 1? Basically it will be difference of energy of 2 minus difference of energy of 1, which is 13.6 divided by 2 square, right? But with minus sign, minus 13.6 divided by 1 square. So this will be 13.6 positive, minus will become plus, minus 13.6 divided by 4, which is going to be how much, guys? Which is going to be how much? 13.6 divided by 4, that's going to be 3.4. So minus that is going to be 10.2 electron volt. Now whatever this energy is there, that will be the H into F value for that particular photon, because that energy will go into the energy of the photon. So HF from 2 to 1 will be given by 10.2 electron volt. That is first part. Now for the second part, look at this. Highest energy to the second permitted level. Highest energy to the second permitted level means what, guys? Look at this. Infinity to basically 2. Infinity to 2. Okay, just understand this. This is basically infinity to 2. That is what the second transition is all about. That will be basically E infinity minus E2. That will be basically 0, because infinite energy is always 0, minus 13.6 divided by 2 square, which is just going to be 3.4 electron volt. This will be the H into F value from infinity to 2. So I got this, both their values, just divide them, I will get the answer. This divided by this. So HF from 2 to 1 upon HF from infinity to 1 will be 10.2 divided by 3.4. So frequency from 2 to 1 upon frequency from infinity to, 2, my bad, this was 2, guys, infinity to 2 will be 10.2 divided by 3.4. How much will it be approximately? How much will it be approximately, guys? Approximately this will be 3:1. Very good, many of you have answered it. Yes, 3:1. So when you draw the diagram, things become clear. So draw the diagram in the problem solving in your answer sheet. Teacher will also be impressed. Okay, the student has done it properly. He understood the question. So these are the steps which you are going to write for getting the final answer. Okay, moving on. In the nuclear reaction, determine the values of A and B. Very simple question. Let's see if you can solve this. First of all, this is neutron. Please understand that this is also neutron, by the way. So try to solve the question now. So this should be basically 1n0 plus 235 u92 is equal to AXE 54 plus 94 SRB plus 2n10. So basically balance the equation on the top and at the bottom. So 1 plus 235 will be A plus 94 plus 2 into 1. This will give you the value of A. Similarly, at the bottom, 0 plus 92 is equal to 54 plus B plus 0. That will give you the value of B. What is the value of A and B? A is 140, B is 38. Is that so? 140, 38. Just check it. This should be 38. And this should be basically, yeah. This was 140 only. Yeah, perfect. Very good. Very good. Moving on. Great. Moving on to another question, but this I think is not there in the syllabus, so we're just going to skip this slide. So after this question, moving on to directly the next question coming up on your screen, this one. Raj Lakshmi had a sudden fall and was thereafter unable to stand straight. She was in a great pain. Her daughter Rita took her to a doctor. The doctor took photograph of Raj Lakshmi's bones and found that she has suffered a fracture. He advised her to take rest and take the required treatment. Name the electromagnetic radiation used to take the photograph of the bones. How is the radiation produced? Mention the range of the wavelength of this radiation. Very simple. Yes, you need to know the derivation of the fringe width and the microscope. Yes, definitely. Obviously, X-rays, needless to say, very good. How are X-rays produced? X-rays are produced by bombarding electrons over a target material. So it is done using something called as a Coolidge setup, Coolidge tube, where electrons are bombarded by accelerating them and they hit a target, thus producing X-rays. Great. And what is the range of the wavelength? It is in Angstroms. Typically 1 Angstrom to 0.001 Angstroms. That comes out to be 10 nanometers to 10 to the power minus 4 nanometers. Exactly. So you can remember the range in this way, that it is in Angstroms. So 1 Angstrom to 0.001 Angstrom, that is the typical range of the X-ray wavelengths. Very short wavelengths, hence very highly energetic also. Next question. Name the parts of the electromagnetic spectrum which is suitable for radar systems in aircraft, used for muscular strain, used as a diagnostic tool in medicine. Come on, my dear students. Everybody should be able to do this. Pradeep, we are an English channel, bacha. Microwave for the first one. What about the second one? Radar systems, they use short wave lengths, electromagnetic wavelengths for detecting obstacles or other aircraft. Yes, that is microwave. Used for muscular strain. What is used for muscular strain? What is it used for muscular strain? Second one, guys. Yep, it is not X-rays. No, it is not X-rays, guys. Muscular strain is not for X-rays. That is via infrared and diagnostic tool to see where the fracture is. That is X-ray. So first one was definitely microwave. Second one is infrared. Last one is X-ray. X-rays are used to see where the fracture is. Infrared is used in treatment of muscular strain. Keep this in mind. Okay, very important. All these are applications. Next, the primary coil of a transformer is given, secondary, and the transformer ratio is also given 100:1. Okay, the input voltage and the power are as shown. Number of turns, current, voltage, everything is basically asked. Nothing is left. Okay, so let's try to understand this. It's a step-up transformer. So the secondary number of turns will be more than the primary turns. So NS by NP, that will be more than 1. So basically the ratio which is given is 100. So this will be 100 by 1. This will be voltage in the secondary upon voltage in the primary, which will be also equal to current in the primary upon current in the secondary. It is exactly inverse. Voltage and current are inverse to the current, definitely, to each other, sorry. Now, what we are going to do is number of turns given in a step-up transformers, the primary coil is given. Yes, N primary is given. So NS is nothing but, I will write NS divided by NP, which is 100, is equal to input voltage is given. So primary voltage is given. How much it is? It is basically 220 volts. Great. Divide, and on the top you will have Vs. All of this will be basically 100:1. All of this will be equal to 100:1. NS by 100. If you want, I will just put this over here so that it is very systematic and you do not get confused. So this is still going to be 100 by 1 and this is going to be Vs divided by your 220. Great. From this, you can easily find what is the value of NS. You can also find the value of Vs. Once you know Vs, once you know NS, from that you can equate it to the power to get the current. How? Observe. Power is basically current into voltage, Is into Vs, or you can use Ip into Vp. So the power was 1100, primary current unknown, and primary voltage is 220. So from this you will get Ip is basically 110 by 22, which is basically 5 amperes. From this you can also find the secondary current. Here only 100 by 1 is basically primary current divided by secondary current. So from this you will get secondary current. Yep. So over here, what is the main formula? The main formula is basically this one. Main formula is this one. Secondary by primary ratio is given to be 100. It's given to be 100, the ratio. That is Vs by Vp, which is Ip by S. Secondary turns not given. Primary turns 100. 100 by 1 as it is. Vs not given. Vp given to be 220 volts. Now, if you look at this equation, Ns will be 100 into 100. Check it out. It will be 100 into 100. If you look at Vs, it will be nothing but take 220 on the top and into 100. So it will be 220 into basically 100. Is that understood? That is basically your secondary turns, secondary voltage. Here, power is given. Power is current into voltage, be it primary or be it secondary. So if I take for the primary side, the input power 1100 is primary current into primary voltage. From that I got primary current. Once I know Ip, I can also find Is, because 100 by 1 is Ip by Is. So 5 by Is, that's all. Is that okay? Everyone? Everyone? Yep. So all the answers are mentioned on the next slide for all of you as well. Very good. Moving on. Very good. Moving on to the next one. Coming up on your screen. A point charge is placed at a point as shown in the figure. The potential difference between them, is it positive, negative or zero? Okay. So for this question, what I feel is you have to just use the formula of potential. Value of the potential is KQ divided by R. So VA minus VB will be K and Q are common. 1 by RA minus 1 by RB. Is that right? 1 by RA, distance of A minus distance of B. Okay. Now we know that distance of A is obviously less than distance of B. RA is less than RB. So 1 by RA will be more than 1 by RB. Is that right? So what will happen? This term will become positive, yes or no? This term will become positive and charge is also positive. So this will also become positive. Hence, the answer should be positive. Definitely it is positive. As simple as that. Great, great, great. So that's all. See, if it came in JEE, I won't even do all these steps. If it comes in JEE, I know as you go away, the potential will reduce. That is already known. So if you come closer, it is higher. So A is at higher potential, I already know. In JEE, I won't even do all these things. But in boards, you have to write all these steps. Only then you get full marks. You cannot say, if you go far away, the potential decreases. If you come close, the potential increases. They will be like, what nonsense. They will not give you marks. They will give you half marks. Okay. Going on to the next question coming up on your screen. There are two capacitors. Same plate, same area, same separation. X contains air. X contains air. There is a dielectric medium here of value 4. Great. Find the capacitance of each capacitor. If equivalent is 4, find the voltage between the plates of X and Y. So find the voltage differences of each one of them, guys. Okay, come on, let's do this. First of all, Kevin, Bacha, please don't spam or else I'll have to block you. I'll time you out for now. Yes, I'm going to some questions of optics also. Few questions we did on prisms, right? Remember we did few questions on prisms. So those were some optics questions. We are coming to some more optics questions also. Don't worry. Now, in this particular problem, if imagine I assume this capacitance to be C, because of the dielectric material, this capacitance will be 4C. Both are in series. C and 4C are in series, basically series to give you an effective capacitance of 4, how much was the effective capacitance? Yeah, 4 microfarad. That means 1 by C plus 1 by 4C is basically 1 by 4. Okay, everything is in microfarad. So if you take the LCM is basically 4C. So this will become 4 plus 1 is equal to 1 by 4. This 4 and this 4 cancels. So naturally C will be 1 plus 4, which is basically 5 microfarad. So this is the first answer. So calculate the capacitance of each capacitor. So in fact, because we want to find it for each one of them, hence capacitance of X will be 5 microfarad. Capacitance of Y will be 5 into 4, which is basically 20 microfarad. So you're going to block this and you're going to block this. These are the two important things. Okay, great. What is the next thing? What is the next thing that you're going to do? Find the voltage difference between the plates. That means find the voltage across X and Y. All right, the voltage given is 15 volts. We know that the net charge in that entire circuit will be the net capacitance. Q is equal to C into net voltage. So the charge will be, C net was 4 micro, voltage is basically 15, so it is going to be 60 microcoulomb. Now we know in series combination charges is same in series for all the capacitors. Hence I can just say Qx is equal to Cx into basically voltage across X. So voltage across X will be Qx divided by Cx. Qx, how much is charge? It is 60 micro. 60 micro divided by capacitance, it is 5 micro. 5 micro. So this is going to be just 12 volts. This is just going to be 12 volts. That is for voltage across X. Similarly, you can find voltage across Y, and that answer, needless to say, it is going to come out to be as 3 volts. It has to, guys. If there was 12 here, 3 here, 12 plus 3 will be 15. It has to be. Yep. So, what and all concepts have you used here? This capacitor was filled with air. This was identical but with some material. So, if this was C, this was K times of C. So, C, 4C. They were in series. So, use the parallel formula. Remember, for series capacitance, you have to use 1 by C plus 1 by C formula. So, 1 by C plus 1 by 4C is 1 by 4. From that, I found capacitance. So, this capacitance will be same, 5. The other capacitance will be 4 times of that. So, 4 times of 5 will be 20. Done. Next, this entire thing had an equivalent combination of 4 microfarad, and the total voltage was 15. So, that total charge was C into V, which is 60. But in series, whatever is the total charge is the same in each of the capacitor. So, for capacitor X, Q is equal to CV. So, V will be Q divided by C. Charge is 60. Capacitance is from here 5 micro. So, just put 5 micro. So, 60 by 5, 12. So, I found voltage here is 12. Naturally, this much will be 15 minus 12, which is 3 volts. That's why. You will get passed, don't worry, Jayata. Logesh, I have already explained it, bacha, okay? So, I hope this should be clear, and don't spam. No, Nandini, there will be no break. Logesh, next time if you say explain again, I will block you, bacha, okay? Okay. So, don't spam, don't spam. Calculate the distance of an object of height h from a concave mirror of radius arc this much so that real image of magnification 2 is obtained. Find the location of the image also. Or object of height h from a concave mirror of a radius of curvature 20 centimeter. So guys, this is a concave mirror. This is a concave mirror, clearly. Radius of curvature is 20 centimeter, but actually it will be minus because center of curvature, focal point, everything will be here. And we all know magnitude of R is basically 2f. So therefore, f magnitude wise will be 20 by 2, which is 10 centimeters, but sign wise it will be minus 10 centimeters. I know the focal length. Great. Magnification is basically 2. So now magnification is given. So this is a real image. So this will be inverted. So this is minus 2. So minus V by U is minus 2. So minus minus cancels. V is equal to 2U. Now you use mirror formula. And then solve the question. So 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. So 1 by V, V over here is 2 times of U, plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by focal length is minus 10. So what will happen? Half plus 1 is 3 by 2. So 3 by 2U is basically 1 by minus 10. So from here I get 2U by 3 is equal to minus 10. So basically U by 3 is equal to minus 5. U is equal to minus 15 centimeters. Yep. And the value of V will be 2 times of U. So that's it. It will be minus 2 into 15. So it will be minus 30 centimeters. So that is the value of V. Is that okay? Very good. Awesome. Awesome. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. What is it? There is current versus voltage. There is current versus voltage for a material, and identify the region negative dynamic resistance. Where is Ohm's law obeyed? This is very straightforward. Negative dynamic resistance means if you increase the voltage, instead of the current increasing, the current decreases. So over here, this is the part when voltage increases, current decreases. So negative dynamic resistance. Here, for the second part, where is Ohm's law obeyed? I can clearly see this is more like a straight line. Straight line. This is curved. So hence, voltage is directly proportional to current. So here, Ohm's law is obeyed. So that is the answer for this. Exactly from D to E, you can see it is negative dynamic resistance, and from B to C, it is basically approximately a straight line. So it is proportional. Great. That is the answer. Moving on to the last few questions. Moving on to the last few questions. Coming up on your screen, get ready for it. In this reaction, find the, what is this? What is the energy released in mega electron volt? Now, whenever these kind of questions come, okay, it's mainly calculative. How to start with the question, I'll explain you. Calculations, you can do it on your own. That's not the scary part. The scary part, or what people do not remember, is whether it is product minus reactant, reactant minus product, or what should be multiplied with what number. Is this 2 important? Is this 3 important? People get confused over there. So observe over here. Hydrogen and hydrogen, okay, give rise to, okay, but this is an isotope of hydrogen, give rise to a helium and a neutron. So all the masses are given. So the first thing that you're going to do is mass defect. The mass of the reactant, the mass of the product, both of them you calculate and see how much mass is destroyed. So it will be always the mass of the reactant minus mass of the product. So here the mass of the reactant will be basically 2.0141102 plus this one 3.01649 minus mass of the product. Product will have helium and nitrogen, helium and a neutron. So it will be 4.002603 plus 1.008665. Now find the mass defect. Once you find the mass defect, finding energy is simple. That energy which is released is delta M into 931 mega electron volt. So just multiply that, you will get the answer. That's all. Okay, so the answer comes out to be close to 17.58. So I'm just putting the answer, 17.58 mega electron volt. Mega electron volt. Okay, let's do the next one. Sai, you can take a break and come back, bacha, but I will continue. Why not AB? AB is curved. If you look at the diagram, na, Shapai says 007, the diagram is slightly curved. That's the reason for that. Light from a point source in air falls on a convex spherical glass. Okay, refractive index, radius, distance of the source is given. At what position is the image formed? What is this question based on? Which formula is this based on? Come on, guys. Completely based on curved surface refraction formula, because curved surface is given and it is changing the medium. So that's it. So mu2 by V minus mu1 by U is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by R. That's all. Radius given. Object distance given. Image not given. Mu2 and mu1, everything given. Just tell me what is the value of mu2, mu1, R in this question, and what is the value of U. Light from a point source in air. So draw the diagram. Force on a spherical surface. Refractive index this much. Distance of the light source is this much. What is the position of the image formed? Just see, if you took the radius as 20 centimeters, it's clearly mentioned as 20 centimeters, right? And next thing, it's starting from air. That means refractive index of the first material will be 1. It goes into glass. So second material will be 2, which is 1.5. Second material 2 will be, mu2 will be 1.5, and object distance will be negative because it will be towards the left side. So this will be minus 100, and image location can be found by solving the problem. That's all. So if you had to think of a diagram, guys, look at it like this. radius of curvature here, this is positive side, this is negative side, the object is over here, so object distance will be negative, radius will be positive, this will be mu1 which is 1, this will be mu2 which is 1.5, that's all. Solve and you will get the answer as 100 centimeters. Simple. Moving on to next question. A parallel beam of light, wavelength this much, is incident on a slit. The resulting pattern is observed on a screen. Find the distance of the first maxima from the central maximum. Okay. Now in this kind of question, a lot of students are going to make some kind of silly mistake. Let me tell you how to avoid that. Find the location of the first maximum. First of all, this is maxima, number one. Second thing, this is on a slit. So basically this is a single slit diffraction pattern. Single slit diffraction pattern, not interference of YDAC, diffraction. So the location of the maxima, is given by, what is the formula? It is n plus half into lambda by A. This is the formula. So for the first maxima, it will be 1 plus half into lambda divided by A, but I think the value of lambda is already given. How much is it? It is basically 600 nanometer, and the value of A, width of the slit, is also given. It's 0.2 millimeters, so it is basically 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 meters. Solving this, you are going to get the value of theta in radian. Understood, guys? Yes. So this is the formula that you are going to use, not n lambda by A. It is n plus half. Now the question is, find the distance of its first maxima. So the last part will be, if I know the value of theta, I can find this distance. Because I know this d. And I know tan theta, which is roughly theta, is y by d. So therefore y is d theta. So d is basically 1. Theta, I get it from here, and then I get the answer in meters. That's it. This is how it is. Yep. So just check it out. If the angle comes out to be 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 3, this comes out to be 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 3. Use the same value over here, 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 3. So obviously the final answer will also be 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 meters. Yep, just check this out. Excellent. Yeah. Everyone done? Let's move on. No, it's not 3 bachalo. It is basically 4.5. Next question. Proton, deuteron accelerated through the same potential. Which one will have more value of de Broglie wavelength? Which one will have less momentum? Give reasons to justify your answer. Come on. Last 3-4 questions. Yes, Tanishq, definitely. Why is beta only? No, sir, I didn't understand, Narayana. What is exactly your question? No, I'm not from VTU, bacha. Okay, so what do you think is the way to solve this question? De Broglie wavelength, proton, deuteron accelerated through the same potential. So de Broglie wavelength is h by p and momentum is root of 2mk. So therefore it is basically h by root of 2 times of mass. Instead of kinetic energy, what are you going to write? You are going to write it as charge into the voltage difference. Charge into the voltage difference. Is that right? So this is the value that you get of the de Broglie wavelength. Now, if you compare proton and deuteron, what will be the difference? Mass will be difference. Yes, different. And for a deuteron, what will happen? Is the charge different? Only the mass is different, right? Is the charge different? No, right? It's still going to be 1 only. So only mass will be different. So mass of a deuteron will be more. So lambda will be less. So the one which has more mass will have less wavelength. As simple as that. And for the second part, momentum is nothing but mass into velocity, or you can write it as root of 2m into k. That will be better, which will give you root of 2m into q into voltage difference. Now you can see for a proton and deuteron, q is same, v is same. That's it. Only thing different is basically mass. So the one which has more mass will also have more momentum. So that's how you solve the second part. The one which has less mass will have less momentum. So the question said which has less momentum, so the one which has less mass will have less momentum. As simple as that. Okay? So that's it. So deuteron has higher momentum and proton has less momentum because it has less mass. And yes, the proton and deuteron, proton has higher de Broglie wavelength. Perfect. Because proton has less mass. So proton will have less mass, so it will have higher de Broglie wavelength. So that's all. Great. Moving on to the next one coming up on your screen. Deuteron, bacha, is nothing but a proton and a neutron together. That's it. It's a basically isotope of hydrogen. Okay. So one proton and one neutron together is a deuteron. Just single proton is proton. That's hydrogen nucleus ionized. Electric field inside a capacitor is given. The amount of work done in moving the charge over a closed loop is given by. Direct answer. Everybody, fatafat give the answer, guys. Last two questions coming up on your screen after this. Exactly, 0. Why is it 0? Because it is a conservative field. It is conservative. So conservative. So always the work done in a closed loop is always going to be 0. That's it. Done, done, done. Perfect. So moving on to the next one coming up on your screen. What is the process expression for the beta decay of sodium? Write the nuclear process in this decay also. Is the nucleus formed an isotope or an isobar? That is the next question. So if you take sodium 22 and then 11 and it's undergoing a beta decay. So beta decay, decay is deleted. Nuclear reaction, not there. Okay. All right. But anyways, even if you had to solve this for JEE, what will you do? What will this be? This will basically, this will be basically some unknown element plus beta. What is a beta particle, guys? It is nothing but 0 over here and -1. So that means what should happen over here? What should happen over here? Beta. It's a beta decay. Beta plus. Oh, it's a beta plus. If it is a beta plus, then this will be +1. This will be +1, not -1. So then here I will have basically 10 over here because 10 plus 1 is 11. And over here I'm still going to have 22. So which element is this? Which element is this? This will be basically neon. Yep, this will be basically neon. And what are these two elements going to be? Because their atomic mass numbers are same, hence they will be nothing but isobars. Definitely they are going to be isobars. Perfect. Moving on to the next one. Yes, it's an isobar and it emits a neon. Perfect. Yes, there you go. Moving on to the next one coming up on your screen. Out of the two magnetic materials, A has relative permeability slightly more than unity, B has slightly less than unity. What is the material and what will their susceptibilities be? Okay, look at the questions, guys. A has permeability slightly greater than 1. So relative permeability of A is slightly more than 1. Relative permeability of B is slightly less than 1. So naturally this will be diamagnetic. This will be naturally paramagnetic. Naturally the susceptibility of A will be slightly more than 0. Slightly more than 0. Here susceptibility of B will be definitely negative. That's all. That's all it is. So this is para, this is dia. Those are the answers. Okay. So they have given a big paragraph, but I'm just putting it up in shorthand. You can explain it in proper words. Okay. So this is paramagnetic, this is diamagnetic. Moving on to the last question or second last question, most probably. Here it comes. Yes, you should practice these questions on your own if you're not confident. If you're confident, then it's okay. At least try to sit coolly, half a minute, try to gather all the points, whatever are there in the question, in the solution, and then see whether exactly what you thought was there in the answer. If it matches, go ahead. Don't waste time writing it. Predict the direction of the current in the rings 1 and 2 in the same plane where the current in the wire is increasing steadily. Okay, if this current increases, what will happen? It will produce magnetic field like this. It will produce magnetic field like this. It will come out from here, it will go in from here. If the field increases like this, to oppose it, induced field to opposite will be like this. This is what the direction of the induced field should be in order to oppose the change. And here also it is increasing here. To oppose it, it will create an induced field in this direction. Induced field in this direction. In order to create induced field in inward direction, this should be clockwise. This should be clockwise. So current here will be clockwise. Everybody gets this. So this is clockwise. In the second one, to create an induced field towards you, hold the thumb towards you, the fingers curl this way. So that will be basically anti-clock. That will be basically anti-clockwise. See if this makes sense. Exactly. That should be the answer. Yep. Clockwise and anti-clockwise. Perfect. Now, yes, this brings us to the end of the session. But like I said, there is a surprise for all of you. So homework questions for all of you. So lots and lots of homework questions, guys, for all of you for practice. Right now, I have not pasted the solutions here. But when you get the PDF, you will see the solutions. All the solutions of all the high weightage questions, highly important questions which are highly repeated in the previous years. Most important, please do that. Okay, so all those things are given as a homework assignment for all of you. Okay, please go through the solutions. So that was the big thing which I could give you, so that you have something to do after this session is over. So today I want you to complete everything. Tomorrow I want you to write some mock tests. I'll tell you what exactly you have to do in tomorrow's session. So be consistent. Do not fall back behind, because if you fall back behind, then you will lose that confidence and you will get frustrated and nervous and all of that. So try to match up to our pace. I have given you a systematic study plan, so follow that study plan. So today you just will complete everything in your syllabus. If you want to do derivations, write it down. Finish this homework assignment. Okay, have an amazing lunch. Hope to see you in tomorrow's lecture, which is short class at 10:30 sharp. Okay, it's going to be a short class, but all important, most predicted answers and questions for your CBSE board exam. Tomorrow at 10:30 sharp. See you. Bye bye. Hasta la vista. Captain Shreyas signing off.